Am I ready? You're ready? Okay. Good night. Welcome to the press conference official for Canada. In the mid-tape, we have Jesse Marsch. This is the head coach for Canada. Remember that you cannot do any records, and you need to raise your hands, and I can make the question for you. Here.
Hey, Jesse. Could we start with your big picture thoughts on the match, but could you also tell me what impressed you the most about Max Crepeau tonight?
Yeah, big picture is I thought had a good performance, right? And especially when we were able to execute our tactical plan, we made it very difficult on Argentina and really could have had some goals, could have had the lead. So big picture, you know, when I kind of said to the team afterwards that we take this game, but we also take the 3 matches. And you know, it's been unfair to them in some ways to be put in a situation to expect to have early success with a new manager in a new situation when we have to play these levels of opponents. But I think we've learned a lot from it, and mostly we've learned that we can play. We can play with these teams. And then, yeah, of course, Max, you know, because we make too many foolish errors in the back, easy mistakes that we should never make. Long balls over the top that we don't deal with well, giveaways that we give away too easily. We put Max in a situation to have to play or have to make a bunch of saves that normally if we were cleaner, he wouldn't even need to be called upon. But I think that, the saves obviously, and also his ability to be the last defender and really be connected with the back line. I thought even first half he had one on the right where he came out and dealt with it. So yeah, two good performances for Max.
Hi, Jesse. What kind of confidence does this performance give you for the next 2 games here in this Copa America?
Yeah, I said that before we played these 3 matches, I said to the team, no matter what happens in the 3 matches, we have to come out of it stronger and develop ourselves and be more confident and have more belief. And I think where we sit right now, as painful as it is to know that we let this game slip away from us when we had certain things in control, I do believe that we come away from the 3 matches stronger, clearer, and more prepared, hopefully more mature for what it's going to require. But Peru will be another really tough match, and we can't assume anything, and we have to keep pushing this group to develop, to improve, to get better.
Jesse. Say
yeah.
Hello, Jesse.
Hi.
Just, I guess, you know, obviously you guys go toe-to-toe there, you get your chances, just doesn't fall. I'm kind of curious from your perspective as a coach, you kind of see that as a positive, something to build off of, or they don't fall. Is that something you're kind of looking at? I'm kind of curious how you balance those 2 sides of the coin.
The chances, I'm not too concerned about not finishing them. I know that over time, when you get those kinds of quality chances, that you're going to score enough goals, and we have enough quality up the pitch. More is the focus on the details of how to tactically be sharper and cleaner and not give away such easy chances. You know, it felt like it was a match where we had to really work and earn our opportunities, and we sometimes gave them things that were too simple and too easy. So if we can clean that up a little bit, then I think we'll have a better control of the match, even against the best team in the world.
Jesse, right here, Nelson Perez from Hispanic Source Media. Can you talk about the specifics of the things that you liked today, the things that you think they're promising, and also in terms of big picture, how great it is that you faced the toughest opponent in the first game and then you got it out of the way. Now you have probably your rivals as the next 2 matches.
Yeah, you know, look, I think our organization in all phases of the game was pretty good. So tactically, I think the connections and the understanding of how everything fits together was like an 8 out of 10 for me, but it needs to be a 10 out of 10. And then some of our aggressive moments where we were closing balls and eliminating the space, you know, eliminating space for Messi at certain times, again, was somewhere like a 7, 8 out of 10. Our ability to create chances, even against a very good defensive team, was also better than expected. So there's a lot of positives. But again, we just need to clean up the overall performance and the overall tactical performance, and we'll be in a better position. And then, yes, I mean, look, of course, when your first matches are Holland, France, and Argentina, you then can look at Peru and Chile and go, okay, we have more of a chance in those games. But we can't have any expectation that those games are going to be easier, because they're not going to be. They're going to be different. And we have to understand exactly what those games are going to require and be able to set the standard for how we want to play within those matches. So, and look, we're still a young team and a developing team, and I want to make sure that in all ways we learn from mistakes, we're not naive, we grow, we become more savvy, more intelligent, and I'm going to keep pushing that.
How important is it to see a guy like Moise Bombito settling into a match like this against a Messi and Argentina kit with the whole crowd praising him?
Yeah, in general, look, the crowd wasn't that as into it as I thought they were going to be, and I think partly because our performance was good, and it took them a while to get into the match because we didn't give much away, and our defensive stability was one of the reasons why. So, you know, it would obviously, if we could have been even against France, if we could find the lead. If we get in the Dutch in the first half, if we could find the lead, then we would maybe be able to see how we can hold up in that kind of pressure. But we're, you know, and we're performing better than I hoped, but we're making more simple mistakes than I had hoped. So we've got to, you know, we've got to keep pushing the good, but then clean up the bad.
Jesse, Kyle Baum with the Sporting News. Obviously, you haven't had a lot of time with the team relatively. When you look at the first 3 games, do you feel like there's a theme with the second half versus the first half, and how things maybe start to get out of hand in the second half after a quality first half? And why would that be, if so?
Actually, I think that there's a phase at 1-0 where we played our best in the 3 matches, right? And we were really unlucky not to get the tying goal, and maybe a penalty, right? I don't want to harp on the ref, but that's a foul. Just call the foul. Just call it. It's a foul. And then you can decide later, is it outside the box or is it inside the box? But it's a foul. It's a 100% foul. But the reason he didn't call the foul was because he was worried it might be a penalty. So, but in the end, yeah, we need to put complete performances together. That's for sure. But we're the fact that we're performing well through big portions of good matches is a real positive sign.
Jesse, hi. You spoke in a previous answer about restricting the space that Messi had to play, and I just wondered if you could expand on that a little bit, like your overall plan that you had for him and how you feel like your players executed it. Yeah, well, we talked a lot about our compactness and then identifying the spaces that Messi likes to show up. We talked about not diving in because it's hard to win tackles from him, and what happens is if you eliminate yourself or if you start diving in for tackles, he's really good at slipping it, moving it, getting it back again, and then making little final plays. Now, he still made too many. This is what I say about Messi. I've coached against him several times, and I feel like we've had a good match plan and we've executed a lot of good things, but he's so good. He's that good that he still makes plays. The 2 balls he makes on the 2 goals, I think, are world class and amazing. I mean, it's awful, but it's amazing.
You're saying yesterday that you wanted to see fearless football from your team. Did you think you got that from the team, and did you have to work on that at all in terms of them not being overawed at all, really, by that? Yes,
I do think we got fearless. We played fearlessly. We talk a lot about, you know, it's one thing to say play brave and play fearless, but the fearlessness comes from the trust in the system and the connection, tactical connection that gets created. And they feel that. They see it, they feel it, so they know that they can be aggressive and they can go after the game in all good ways. And now again, that's a really good development and a really good trend, but we have to eliminate some of the again, I've said it maybe 5 times, we just have to eliminate some of the easy things that we made mistakes on.
Hi, Jesse.
Okay.
Another one about Max. 2 years ago, he broke his leg in the MLS Cup final, and today he has this performance against Argentina and Lionel Messi and all those blocks, all those stops. What can you say about his character and the fact that you're pretty much a starter in this team?
Yeah, look, I've known Max, all right? I signed him, I was part of the Montreal Impact when we signed him to his first contract at 18 years old. He was a mature 18-year-old. Right? But now he's 30 with a family and children, and you can just see that he's a man. And that, even the first conversation I had with him, I was really excited to see how he's grown so much. And I think, you know, with all the struggles that people go through, the key is that you get stronger from those moments. And I think Max has definitely done that.
Hey, Jesse. Christian Jack, One Soccer.
Yeah.
Just over here, Jesse.
Yeah,
hey, thank you for doing this. I want to ask you about Kyle Laren's performance tonight defensively. We don't really see him run as often as we've seen him done tonight. Can you talk about what him and David did in blocking off the channels to Paredes, who didn't necessarily get the ball very often, and then subsequently Messi not getting the ball often as well?
Yeah, we had a certain pressing plan where we wanted to invite balls in certain areas and then be ready to attack in those areas. And I thought that if you go through the 3 matches, we've gotten better at executing kind of those tactical principles. And Kyle has developed in there. And I told Kyle that he's the best attacking player I've ever coached at closing the space after he gets overplayed and winning balls and helping press behind himself. So that part has been really good. Him and Jonathan obviously have had a pretty good partnership. And we have to say that when Schaffelberg came in the match, that he really tilted things, and his ability to put some pressure and then be on the move and use the open space to attack was really good. So yeah, you know, you've seen that from the start here. I haven't I've worked more on pressing from a compact state than from an open state. And that's because I'm working with them on the principles of understanding when we press, what are the tactics and the movements so that we can close space and we can make sure that the distances aren't so big that we can win balls. And, you know, in general, I thought, again, especially in the second half, some really good moments.
Yeah, please, one here.
Thank you. Hi, Jesse. How are you doing?
Good.
I wonder what your message was to the team at halftime, because you had played so well. You knew they were probably going to come out looking to reverse things. And did it change at all that you were waiting for 3 minutes out on the field? And how did you handle that moment?
So I said to them that we need to clean up tactically, right? That there were some really good things, but that the awareness of where to be when all moments are happening and the connection of the team needed to improve. And then when they were waiting, I knew that they were going to have, I knew they were looking at video and they were analyzing how they wanted to play with us or play against us. Now, I wish, again, the referees would manage that. If we were 5 minutes late, we'd get a fine, there'd be a big problem. Let's see what happens with Argentina. I think they have to be fined. How late were they? Was it 20 minutes? 30? I don't know. It was a long time. But they had that time to prepare to how they wanted to play against us in the second half, which if we would have known ahead of time that we could have an extra 10 minutes, then we could have prepared some things more. But in the end, I just made sure that the players knew that they were going to come out with a new plan, and they basically rotated a little bit more to 3, but we still dealt with it really well. Still dealt with it really well.
The last, any more questions?
Argentina should be fined. You can write that in.
Argentina.
Okay, ole la nación. Should be a fine for coming out 20 minutes late in the second half.
All right, I guess, Jesse, last one from me. Now you've had 3 games in charge, 3 top tests, and you're kind of thrown off into the deep end. Now looking back at that, how important are some of the references that you've learned now from these 3 games as you head into what's next this tournament?
Yeah, in general, I would say we wanted, like I said, we wanted to be stronger. I've tried to set high standards for the team in terms of what it's going to take to be good and to develop to the team we want to be. These 3 opponents have shown that and proven that to our team, that the things that I'm telling them are valuable and valid. And so we have to use it in all the right ways and not expect that, again, the key for us where we sit right now is to focus on Peru, to learn from what this match is, and to not think just because Peru's not in the top 10 in the world that this game's going to be easy, because it won't. So we have to prepare in all ways for another real fight and make sure that we can be even better.
Thank you so much. This is the end for the press conference.
Gracias.